Alright, so here's some information about section 2 of chapter 8. Again, they talk about a sample proportion is just the number of successes over a number that you sampled. We call this p hat. I kind of like the name of that one. And on the next page, they give us some formulas to figure out what our mean of p hat is and our standard deviation of our p hat. So we have to have this condition that n times p times 1 minus p is greater than or equal to 10. So they'll ask you some questions about that. So please read the text to make sure that we can approximate normality. So my mean of p hat is just my proportion. And then the standard deviation of the sampling distribution is this formula, the square root of p times 1 minus p over n. So let's see if we can look at a problem and see what they're trying to ask us. Again, we're going to use our StatCrunch and technology on this one. So, according to a study conducted by a statistical organization, the proportion of Americans who are satisfied with the way things are going in their lives is 0.82. So this is our P. This is not a sample. This is what they think the proportion of Americans. So this is our population proportion, 0.82. Suppose that a random sample of 105 Americans is obtained, and then we completes part A through C. So my distribution of p hat is p. That's what it says here. My mean of my p hat is p. All right, and then it also says choose a. So we have the mean, and then we were looking for the standard deviation. So our standard deviation on something like this, they have some numbers here for us, but we would calculate that by using our p-value, 0.82, our population proportion, and our sample size, 105. So we're going to use this formula here. So, if I remember correctly, it was 0.82, or the square root of 0.82, times 1 minus 0.82, and then I'm going to divide that by my sample size of 105. So that should close everything out. So my p times 1 minus p divided by my sample size of 105. So I get a standard deviation of my sampling distribution of 0.0375. Let's see if that's one of our choices. And to 3 decimal places it is 0.037. So we got our mean of our sample proportion is our population proportion, and our standard deviation of our sampling proportion is the 0.037 by using this formula. Next, it's going to say what's the probability that at least 82 Americans in the sample are satisfied with their lives. So they gave us a number 82, but we've been dealing with proportions. So let's check this out. I'm still going to use a normal calculator. Calculator normal. We just said a second ago that the mean is 0.82 and that the standard deviation, this is where we could get in trouble with rounding. I'm going to go 0.03749. I like to get as many decimal places as I can. So 0.03749. And it asks at least 82 Americans. So when I'm plugging in to this, I'm not going to put at least 82. It'd be 82 out of 105. This is where I'm going to put my p hat value. So my 82 out of 105, I would need to calculate that. This is my p hat, right? So I have 0.8, I have 82 is the people, the number of people, out of my sample size 105. This is where my p hat comes in. 0.7 0.78095. 0.78095. And I get a value of 0.8512. Let's check this. It says 0.8512. Great. Now 79 or fewer. So I go back to this. This is the same. This is the same. But now it's 79 or fewer. So I do not put 79 in here. I put my p hat in here. So it's 79 or fewer. So I want to find out what that p hat is, that sample proportion out of 105. I get 0.7524. So that represents this area, so that's 0.0357. 0.0357. So this is similar to section 1, except I'm using proportions in section 2, and where in section 1 I was using means. Both of them we will look at our sample size. That'll help us figure out our standard deviations. So they do have similarities, but on both of them we will use our normal calculator. Mean, whatever our standard deviation that we have to calculate is, and then our values. In section 1 these would be means, in section 2 these are p-hats.